Congratulations on the win. How are you feeling?
Thank you. I feel pretty good. It's been a long year off, so to kind of just get back out there, shake that off, I mean, nothing better.
Yeah, I mean, we were hearing on the broadcast, it seemed like you were really sick. I was wondering if you could kind of elaborate on what happened exactly.
Yeah, so I was actually scheduled to fight Pani June 12th pay-per-view card, and in April, I ended up getting COVID. I coach high school gymnastics, and I think from just being around the athletes there, I ended up catching a really bad case, and it kind of just knocked me on my butt. You know, it was pretty scary, honestly. I ended up in the hospital twice. I was on oxygen. I was on steroids for my heart and my lungs, and the migraine was just one of a kind. It was pain that was going down my spine. They had no answers for me, so it was kind of one of those things to where you had to truly rest. And I remember laying in bed one night, and I was just like, this can't be it, because I really felt like my body was just shutting down on me, and that was going to be the end of it.
So it sounds like, not only were you not even thinking about fighting, you were thinking about, your life.
Absolutely. I mean, fighting is a part of me, but it's not who I am. And at the end of the day, that was kind of one of those moments to where it gave you a real life reality check. Taught me to be a lot more grateful for things. I've always been grateful. I've always felt blessed, but now it just kind of put things into a different perspective. And, I feel like I just handle life in a completely different way now. Just kind of appreciate the little things, have fun with things. This fight was really weird because, I told my coaches I used to let my emotions get the best of me. And before even walking out to that octagon, sometimes I would turn my opponents into this freaking invincible person and take away from myself. And it was just always so much emotion surrounding that. And now coming out here in this fight, it was just, after experiencing that fear that I had from feeling like there wasn't going to be a tomorrow to this, this truly is fun. And I just felt calm as can be. I felt like that first round was definitely getting out there and oh shit, here we are again. This is what it feels like I've missed this, but then at the same time it was a little flat, shaking off that rust.
Was it different for you? You think, you were talking about rust, but do you think maybe any of that was lingering COVID effects? Because we've heard some fighters say that they feel like it is, some say nothing.
For a while, getting back into training, I had to really slow it down. The fatigue for me was one of a kind. It didn't matter what I did. I can throw a couple punches, and it felt like I ran 12 miles, and then I'd have to sit down. So getting back into training, this camp was about a 12-week camp. And the first half of it was just trying to get my body past all those lingering COVID effects. I haven't really felt like I've had any since then. I actually feel like I'm in the best shape that I've been mentally, physically, and emotionally in a very, very long time.
And, you hear fans often say, when fighters get COVID, that, they're athletes. Why is it affecting them this way? Is there anything that you think maybe people don't realize having gone through it now?
I think that a lot of people, it's just kind of one of those things to where it hits everybody so different. And I mean, there really are no answers to it. But the thing that I learned through it, and with my family and my close friends who are getting sick and stuff, it's just the key to it is just rest. And, to kind of take it serious, I mean, I'm a young athlete, and I'm the healthiest in my family. And to see how it knocked me down, I was one of those people who was just okay, if I get sick, I'll go sweat it out or do something, kind of work past it how I always did with the cold. And no, that wasn't the case. So I had to learn how to really slow down and find that patience, relax, recover. And, that taught me a lot, especially when it came into training too. It's not about the quantity that you're getting, but it's about the quality. So even throughout this camp, if I needed some days, that was just maybe one training, or if I needed to take that day off to kind of let my body relax, that was super important. But like I said, I mean, it all tied together. So mentally, physically, emotionally, it all just came in one.
And having been out for so long, how soon do you want to get back in there? Do you want to take a rest? Do you want to figure that out?
No, this has been the longest year off. It was an extremely frustrating year. And then to kind of it just feels like it's been one setback after another for a couple years now. And then the whole USADA situation. But now that everything's passed, I wanted to get out there and come and perform, and I'm healthy. So, I want to at least enjoy myself for a week or two. And then I want another fight before the end of the year.
Do you have an opponent in mind?
Anybody who's in the top 10. Before I got suspended, I was ranked number 4. It's going to be interesting to see where they place me back at, which is frustrating because I've always busted my ass to get to where I'm at. But you know what? It's a clean slate. Here we are. And my goal is the world title shot again. So anybody above me, that's going to get me there.
Where do you think you deserve to be ranked?
I deserve to be put back in number 4, work my way back up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there a part, sometimes we hear about people who go through traumatic life events where now this part of your career is going to be a gift because for a moment there you thought you weren't going to have it at all. Are you looking forward to this part where you mentioned about taking some of the pressure off yourself inside in the change rooms and stuff? Are you looking forward to going?
Absolutely. I feel like I said, at the end of the day, I always tell, being a high school coach, I always tell everybody just go out there and have fun. And for a while I wasn't practicing what I was preaching and I wasn't having fun. I was putting so much pressure, or I was turning it into such a big situation and kind of like giving myself all this unnecessary stress. And now this is a blessing. I'm grateful to be here. It's 1% of the population who gets to do this. And, I've had a lot of accomplishments throughout my career. And now, like I said, I'm truly just grateful and I just want to have fun again.
You mentioned turning your opponents into these invincible people. Do you think this new mindset and not doing that will benefit you in the cage?
Absolutely. Absolutely. At the end of the day, we're both people. We all eat the same way, sleep the same way, get dressed the same way. For a while I lost sight of the athlete that I am and the abilities that I have. So now it's just about focusing on myself again and being the best version that I can be.
Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Just to clarify, because I want to make sure, I know the broadcast said, I think they said that you were on a ventilator, but you said oxygen. You just got oxygen. You weren't on a ventilator, correct?
Yeah, no, I wasn't on a ventilator.
Okay, that's what I thought, because there's a big difference between the two.
Yeah, no, it didn't go that far. But yeah, no, I had the oxygen and steroids for my lung inhaler, all that stuff.
And I know a lot of times, being in the hospital room, you're just sitting there to your thoughts. But what's unique about this fight game is a lot of it's mental, the mental side. So while you're in there, were you able to thinking about fighting and thinking about what you want to do differently, did that help pass the time? And was that a constructive way to spend that time when you were there? Because you're kind of forced to your thoughts?
Yeah, to say the least. I think at that moment in time when I had nothing to do but lay around, it was extremely frustrating because I was sick for over 31 days and having to lay in bed and just kind of go through it. I spent so much time talking to my coaches, spent time talking to my family, everybody was FaceTiming me, and then I obviously had to spend a lot of time to myself. I didn't want anybody around me. And, just thinking about a lot of things, it really does just put life into perspective for you. Outside of fighting or being an athlete or the goals that I have, the things that I want to accomplish, when I want to get there. So it was just I really felt like I had the opportunity to kind of break myself down, think about things, and then when I got that opportunity to get back out there, just make the best of every situation. And
I have to think that that's had to put quite a financial burden as well. So you probably want to get pretty active as well, but I imagine 31 days or whatever in the hospital, that had to be a pretty large bill, unfortunately, huh?
Well, I wasn't in the hospital for 31 days. I had COVID for 31 days. But, I had the bills and stuff. But, I'm thankful for UFC. I called them, obviously, because I was scheduled for a fight and told them what was going on and stuff. And, they stood behind me and they helped take care of me with everything, too. So I'm super grateful for Dana and Hunter and the organization for always being there for me. But, at the end of the day, obviously, I'm financially smart with all my money and got a lot going for myself. But obviously this is my career, and so yeah, I was eager to get back out here, make some more money, have some more fun, and start the next chapter.
And when you face something like that, especially the life and death, the motivation to get back into the gym is probably not an issue anymore, huh?
Not at all. There was no question. My coaches, they sat there and they were like, "This is the most disciplined we've seen you. This is the most as far as my nutrition, most dedicated, most disciplined." And it's because it was just easy. It was just a frame of mind. And it was those moments when it was a struggle, I just thought about the other things I've been through or the struggles that people really have in life. And it's I'm blessed, I'm grateful for this. So sacrifice now the little things that I have to do to get to where I want to be. And that's exactly what I did. This fight camp was it was fun. I was super disciplined from day one. The chance that I had to get out of bed and actually get back into the gym, we took it extremely slow, but every day was just fun for me. And there were some days, it gets tough, you get worn out, but at the end of the day, I just reminded myself why I was there and the fact that I get to have fun. And I'm blessed with this, so that's what I focused on.
What was the game plan for her coming in?
For one, to go out there and have fun, to hands go, just to believe in my skills. obviously, I don't think any of us expected, including myself, but when you're out there in the fight, things happen. I didn't expect her to clinch with me as much and for us to spend so much time up against the cage, but that's the fight game for you. It was pretty much just, believing in my skills, whether it was stand-up, whether it was wrestling, or whether it was going to the ground, and so.
And would it be frustrating if you didn't get that number immediately after your name after this fight, if you had to take another fight, or, is it just one of those things that, I know you want to be up the ranked where you left as well, but is a ranking as important as it used to be, having gone through what you went through?
It's not, I feel like, for one, I've always worked to get to where I am, and I'm super proud every time I look back at those things and whatnot. I'm like, oh, hey, I'm 4th in the world. Oh, hey, I did this. I made history in this way. Those are cool things to have under your belt, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're the champion. It doesn't matter if you're ranked 50. We're all here for a reason, and I'm a person who loves challenges, but my ultimate goal is obviously that world title shot. I do want to climb, but that can happen from going out and fighting a girl who's making her debut and putting on a highlight performance, and then all of a sudden you're fighting for the world title shot. So that doesn't really matter to me. But at the end of the day, if you want to look at it and people who do care about the stats and the records and everything else, sure, whatever.
Congrats on the victory.
Thank you.
Welcome back, Raquel. Congrats on getting that win. It was good to see that brilliance where you were able to outwork your opponent, being a young veteran. Rate your performance, please, from a scale of 1 to 10.
I would probably have to rate that just because there was moments in there where I actually started letting my hands go, and as soon as I connected that right hand, I was like, oh, and I started feeling like a shark going after blood. And so that's something fun that I just unlocked in myself. But that performance is not what I expected for myself this go around. So I'd probably I'll be graceful to myself, so I'll give myself 5.
Understood. And lastly, her coach went on social media and said, we can't get a fight, nobody wants to see us in the cage, nobody wants to step in the octagon. I'm sure a Holly Holm rematch will move you right back up the ladder, and she's looking for an opponent, just throwing that out there.
You know what? I would actually love, I don't give a shit about that second fight between me and Holly. That was not a fight. And that was extremely frustrating to be on such a big card, the co-main event, and for her to go out there, you know what, at the end of the day, she won, congratulations. But the fact that she can put on a performance and just hug me with everything that she freaking had, and that was frustrating. Holly's bigger than me, and for her to use that leverage and trying to get out of there, that shit was annoying. But at the end of the day, that fight's erased in my mind. We had a very controversial first fight with that decision, and I would absolutely love to fight a third fight. Absolutely, 100%.
All right, thank you. Welcome back.
Thank you.